Introducing Dr. Zakzaky Damages.
Welcome to the show. My name is Dr. Damages. We are coming to you from the greatest city in the world.
New York City.
Yeah. New York City is so great that a homeless man caused panic in New York City by dropping rice cookers in the subway station.
What?
Oh yeah, take a look.
It's the image of a young man who police say brought chaos to New York City today. He allegedly planted 2 electric rice cookers in a lower Manhattan subway station at the peak of morning rush hour. A third cooker was found on the sidewalk at the corner of 16th Street and 7th Avenue.
I know. Who would have imagined that? A homeless man dreaming of cooking rice. The question is, why is the panic? Why the panic? Well, if you know, you know. Only few people we know that the last few bombs that went off in America were made with rice cookers. Did you get that? So, dropping a rice cooker in the subway is like an Igbo man going to a New Year festival wearing the traditional Igbo attire. But instead of having his siago on it, you have the Nigerian coat of arms. Like this man. No. To some, it is like, what is the big deal? Like a homeless man carrying a rice cooker. What is the big deal? But if you're a Biafran, it is an abomination. Now, another reason why there was panic in New York City was because he was a young white man. Look at him. Look at his face. People like that are very dangerous. They are most likely terrorists. Now, the only difference between a white terrorist and others, like the Boko Haram and Al-Shabaab, is that while others are just plain terrorists who are interested in dying and going to heaven to meet 72 virgins, the white American terrorist has mental illness. Listen to Trump.
These people are mentally ill, and we have to study that also. Because, it's them. They pull the trigger. The gun doesn't pull the trigger. They pull the trigger.
This is a great president, That's it. It is not the guns that kill people. The guns, they don't pull the trigger. It is mental illness. I look forward to when logics like this will be classified as mental illness. Because Britain, Canada, Germany all have white men who have mental illness. But somehow, their mental illness does not pull the trigger the way it does in America. I wonder why. Why? Now, talking of logics. Did you see what IPOB, the Biafrans, did to Nigeria's former deputy Senate president, Ik Ekweremadu in Germany? Did you see that? Did you see?
Ekweremadu je iriji. Ekweremadu. Ekweremadu je iriji.
My friend, stop laughing
Ekweremadu.
now. This is not a funny. Will you keep quiet? This is not a funny thing. Anyway, Ekweremadu was in Germany to attend the Iriji festival of the Igbo group there, and IPOB members stormed the venue, and this is what happened. Take a look. I said, damn it! That is not right. That is not correct. That is not correct. This is not how you treat a special guest who studied all night preparing to deliver a keynote speech. For God's sake, that man is a very important guest. More importantly, this guest, this August visitor, actually visited in August. It doesn't happen all the time. Do you know that? Play more of the video. Now, how could these boys do something like this? Yeah? They tore a whole Ekweremad's attire and removed his red cap. This must be called by its true name. An abomination on top of an abomination. Now, I don't understand children nowadays. I don't. Watch. Hey, wait. this old man is joining the young men, then maybe Ik Ekweremadu put on the pulpit. But even at that, was that old man trying to throw egg at the man? Anyway, the Biafrans were throwing eggs and stones at a whole Ik Ekweremadu and asking him to go back home, where his people were being killed by Fulani herdsmen. Are you not shocked? I bet you, these Biafrans did not know who Ekweremadu is. Obviously, they are young people. He was not just a former number 7 man in the country for 8 years when he was the deputy Senate president. If 6 people ahead of him on the line of succession died, he would have been president. He was that close, very close. Also, the man Ekweremadu called in 22 pastors, bishops, evangelists, apostles, and prophets into his living room in Enugu. How many people can stay in your living room, can fit in? He invited 22 pastors, fed them, and gave them wine. And afterwards, he asked them to pray for him. Look at the picture now. I'm not making it up. You know what? He assigned each of them to pray for one of his houses that EFCC was going to take over. And guess what? They prayed and EFCC forgot that there was any issue with any of the houses. They forgot that this former poor lecturer now owns 22 houses in choice locations across Nigeria. They forgot about that. Don't these Biafrans know that he could have 22 pastors, bishops, evangelists, apostles, and prophets pray for them to be deported out of Germany? Don't they know that? Okay, jokes apart. We have to unpack this Ekweremadu incident very well. IPOB is promising that all Igbo governors and politicians will receive the same kind of treatment when they travel abroad. Look at the headline now. I'm not making it up. Not just those headlines. Here is a warning from IPOB member who is waiting for Korocha, or the one from Ebonyi State, to show up in his base in Turkey. Look at him. Watch.
Make sure I'm bajili. Also, when the police to them, make sure I'm well or baga or bojupi. Make sure he make his use of it.
Now, do you know that from now onwards, we have to pay money to hire policemen to our events abroad, so that our visiting big men will not get this kind of treatment from Biafrans, the one that Ekweremadu got? You know?
No.
Oh yeah, we have to do that. Listen to the main man, the supreme leader himself. Watch.
Because IPOB is all over the world. We are the largest movement in the world. It doesn't matter what they are saying. So these are the police who are trying to, make peace. This is German police. This is how they do. And this is all we can do. We can't do anything about that. So we've been able to show them today that wherever they go, they will face the wrath of IPOB. And that is the fact of the matter.
You see, first of all, I support free speech. But I don't support violence of any kind on anybody, including a thief caught red-handed, or a crook caught forging documents. Whatever happened to her? I support free speech, but no matter what the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, says, throwing missiles is not a form of free speech. I don't believe that. It's not. So please, get that right. Secondly, I don't support wasting eggs that Biafran veterans begging at Oji River could have put to good use. You know what I mean? With those eggs wasted on Ekweremadu, all that they would have needed to have a good breakfast was a basket of tomatoes. They will fry the eggs and be happy. But they wasted it now on Ekweremadu. Now, in a swift reaction, the president of Ohaneze Igbo, Nuremburg, condemned the assault on Ekweremadu. He called it a violent and rude act that is dangerous for the Igbo people. Hey, let me quote 2 lines from Modo's statement. He said, and I quote, "This violent, rude, impertinent, divisive and discourteous style of IPOB is damaging to our cause. It strengthens the case of those who describe them as terrorists and weaken our case against the infringement of our fundamental human rights. I say, Oyibo, Oyibo? He's just speaking grammar. The only part of Modo's statement that I understood was this one. He says, Ekweremadu negotiated the sureties and securities for Nnamdi Kanu's release on bail. He does not deserve this picketing and disgrace. A disgrace to him is a disgrace to Igbo race. Now, shall we tell Modo that Igbo race that he and Ekweremadu are leading is already a disgrace? I guess like other leaders in Nigeria, they are busy wearing colorful attires that they don't see the disgrace that they are part of. Anyway, after taking shower and changing his clothes, he had to do that because of the tomatoes and the egg they threw at him. Ik Ekweremadu issued a statement to the world press. Now, never mind that it was only Igbo TV that was there. But anyway, he issued a statement. In his statement, Ekweremadu reminded Biafrans that he was the only one that spoke out in support of their supreme leader when he was locked up in Buhari's jail. I'm like, hey, yeah. So imagine doing all those things, and this is the thank you that you get. He also reminded them that he crushed the drum that was beating the music that those bad pythons were dancing to. Remember? I didn't know that. Did you know that? He actually stopped the python dance. Nice guy, you know? Now, how come Okorocha did not mold him if he did all those things? How come the governor of Imo State, the former one, he didn't mold him? Anyway, Ekweremadu ended his statement by saying, and I quote, I nevertheless do not hold this to heart against them, for they know not what they do. Hey! Are you not impressed? I'm like, hey, yeah. You have to give it to him, Ekweremadu. In moments like this, he invoked Jesus straight up. Unfortunately for him, he has not been listening to the Biafrans. He has not been listening to them. And that is the problem with all these big men. If he had been paying attention, he would have known that the appropriate God to invoke at this point is Chukwu Abiyama and not Jesus, the son of Joseph, the direct descendant of Abraham, the father of Ishmael. You remember Ishmael? Who is the grandfather of the Palestinians? No, not that one. It's Chukwu Abiyama. Anyway. All that I can tell you is that the revolution might have been aborted in Nigeria, but the seed might have been planted on foreign soils where protest is free speech. Now, this frustration by Africans abroad over how their leaders at home are running the affairs of the continent is growing over the years. Here is Omoyele Sowore confronting Nigeria's former Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in New York City. Take a look.
Fellow Nigerians, we have been disrespected tonight and not given the chance and respect we deserve by a minister who came late to an event scheduled for 6 p.m. She's coming out about an hour, 30 minutes later, trying to tell us some nonsense about there was delayed in flights. No, we are not going to take this anymore. We have been taking this line down for a long time. It's been happening since 1960. We are not going to take this anymore. And we refuse. Wait. No. We are not going to wait. We are not going to wait. We are not going to wait. Don't advise me. No. We are not going to wait. We are no longer 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 going to wait. What you doing? We are shutting down this event. We are no longer going to.
Hey. That was before he took the revolution home. The minister only came late to an event, and it triggered this kind of reaction from Sowore. Imagine if she was minister during these days of rampaging Fulani herdsmen. Imagine what Sowore would have done. Oh, Sowore is not. He's out of commission. Imagine what would have happened to her. Anyway, here are the people of Ivory Coast confronting their former president in Paris. And here are the Biafrans confronting another Igbo leader in Germany. This would have been a warning to others, but nobody pays attention. Here is another instance of Africans abroad attacking their visiting leader.
So Hausa people are killing me and you cannot knock because you sit in the seat of Nigeria, ship Nigeria.
Hold on.
Open my flag. Can you die for Nigeria? I'm dying for Biafra. I'm ready to die. You can't say what is going on in Nigeria.
The foreign minister has left. Shamefully, of course. Shamefully.
It is spreading fast. Last December, Governor Obiano of Anambra State, you know him, avoided the same fate that Ekweremadu suffered when he skipped an event in Boston. Oh yeah, the Biafrans in Boston were waiting for him, but his spies told him not to show up. Did you know that the last time Vice President Oshibanjo, you know him, came to New York, that they did not announce it? Out of fear. Those allowed to go to the venue were just those invited to the place. By invitation only.
Invitation?
Oh yeah. They did not want the Biafrans or the Shiites or another aggrieved Nigerian group to show up there and cause trouble. Africa, who did this to us? Who did this to us? This is a new segment we call Sound Bits of Our
Time.
Yes. Now, for those of you still in the business of searching for what is wrong with Africa, I think you all should do yourself well, do yourself good by looking at how our ancestors feel sometimes about things we do with the culture and the tradition that they left behind for us. You know, our great-great-grandfathers, you know what I mean, would never have imagined a day like this when you know what? I can't say it with my mouth. Just watch.
Now let her see the masquerade they talk. You have eyes to see.
Yep. Can you imagine that? That was the day that Amadioha wept. That was the day that Shango saw that, and then he ran under the wife's bed and hid under the bed. Nobody, they couldn't deal with that. Nothing. Here are some stories making headline news across Nigerian newspapers this week. Homosexuality, lesbianism, cause of insecurity, says the Emir of Bandung, Mohammed Bashar. Did you know the guy? No. Let me ask you guys. Will it be out of place to insist that before anyone becomes a king or emir anywhere in Africa, that they must have 5 credits in WAEC or GCE, including in chemistry, physics, and biology? Yeah? Do you think that will help? Because I'm confused. Oh, anyway, you know what? Forget about it. What am I saying? That's stupid of me. Forget about it. You know that some presidents don't even have that. What am I worried about the ME and what they're saying? Some presidents don't even have a certificate, not to talk about chemistry and physics. Forget about nonsense. Forget about it. This is good. I am a Yoruba nationalist, not supremacist, says Adeyinka grandson. Activist arrested in the UK. What? What? How did we miss the story of his arrest? The news report says he was stirring racial discrimination against Igbo and Fulani ethnic groups and encouraging terrorism. Did you hear that? I'm like, whatever. Adeyinka, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making this very clear. You know what I mean? You know, millions of us, admirers of your work, your great work, we're so worried about whether you were a nationalist or a supremacist. You know, now that you've made it clear, we can now rest. You know what I mean? we can rest. Between nationalists and supremacists, we know that there are fine people, on both sides. They're fine people. Like you. Like you. Next! Oh, this is good. I don't operate any bank account. Not to talk of keeping money here. These people are my bank account, says Prophet TB Joshua. These people are my bank account, quote unquote. You see, eventually the spirit will catch you. It caught him. Right there. The spirits will make you one day. You speak the truth. Speak the truth! Come on. He spoke the truth. All of you. You are his bank account. Next. Adeboye ordains 12,811 deacons and deaconesses. Right? 4,060 assistant pastors. In one day. And the franchise continues to expand. Do you know that in the last 10 years, Redeemed Christian Church alone has produced over 100,000 pastors? 100,000. By 2020, no street in Nigeria shall be left without their franchise. No street. How I wish they are producing medical doctors at this rate. 100,000 pastors. And Redeemed Christian Church has not taken over the world. Do you know that all the Europeans that brought Christianity to Africa, they were not up to 10,000 pastors or reverend fathers that came? Not up to them. What am I saying? All the Arabs that brought Islam to Africa were not up to that number. Who did this to us, Africans? Who did this to us? 100,000. They have how many thousand pastors in America? Yet they have not converted one single American into their church. Anyway, this is good. I was freer in Nigeria than in India, says Zakzaky. You know the guy, the Shia leader. Did you know that he went to India and returned? He went for emergency medical treatment in India and returned. He got there, he saw their poor hospitals and said, no, thank you. I'd rather go back to Nigeria and go to the synagogue of all nations and have Prophet TB Joshua and have Prophet TB Joshua take care of me. You know what I mean? But just a plane ride to India. I'm telling people to go to India if you can. Look at what it transformed him from this and then to this. Just because he flew to India and came back. Isn't India a miracle country? Miracle country. He wasn't able to work in Nigeria, but once he flew to India, he came back and everything. This is final one. We decided to kill 50 people for every slain headsman, says the head of Zamfara bandits. You know the bandits in Zamfara. It's important to say this, who renounce violence. I mean, I don't want to find out the equation the man used to determine that the head of one headsman equals to the head of 50 people, in Zamfara. I don't want to know that. The good news is that he has renounced violence and is now part of a program preparing men like him to become president of Nigeria. That's enough for me. I'm calm. I'm okay with that. I'll remain calm. I'm calm. Nonsense. I want to say nonsense. Anyway. This is something called Secret South.
Picture.
Based on the premise that the picture is worth more than 1,000
words.
Now, the picture you're looking at, legs of a man, 2 legs of a man, the legs of a real human being. Now, these are legs. You may be surprised to know that probably they belong to a king. I'm talking about a first-class king, for that matter, not just a regular king. And I know 2 first-class kings who could be the owners of those 2 legs. Going by how their fingers, the knuckle, always look at the knuckle. That is where you catch people who are glitching. Look at the knuckle. By the way their knuckle look, this may be how their legs are. Now, I tell you folks, there are a lot of things that are hidden under the abada. A lot. Did I say hidden? Sorry, pardon me. There are a lot of things that are hidden. No, you know what? Forget about. Honorable Kwazuri, come and talk to them. Tell them the way to say it.
Because the president is always patient to the people, and he is going very slowly, and whenever some documents is hidden to him, he will not know. And we know that many things is hidden to him. Many things is not aware.
Hide it. I'm confused, you know? Anyway, here's my concern for today. It's taken from page 419 of the book, The Nature of Holiness by John Wesley. And it says, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the time you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. Hey! I go deep to bring this to you every week. Until next week, I'm Dr. Damages. I diagnose.
You heal yourself.
Okay, now, before I go, I want you to subscribe if you have not. If you have, thank you very much. If you have not, I want you to subscribe. I'll be picking my teeth as you do that. It's not only Buhari that knows how to pick his teeth. I'm waiting on. I'm watching you subscribe now. Thank you. Yes, thank you, my man. Hey, thank you, madam. What are you? Just click that button. Yeah, that red one. Subscribe. Click. Once now. Click. Aha! They were done. We're done. No. Don't go. I know you have to eat dinner, but click. Aha. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Damages. Do high fees damage your wallet when you send money home? I've got the damage control. Use Wave for no fee transfers. Remember the promo code DOCTOR for $5.